Hi everyone, welcome to Heuristique. My name is Nico and I'm one of the readers on this channel. So today I'm going to be doing a daily tarot reading for you guys. It's general, hopefully it resonates, it might not. And yeah, let's just get started on this bright Tuesday morning. Oh geez. Okay, cool, bat. That's the first card right out the gate. I think, in particular, you know, this card is flying towards the moon. And what is moon? The moon is intuition, illusions, right? The mother. There's so many, you know, symbolic things that are associated with the moon. But in this case, I'm really heading towards the fact that the actual moon is just appearing so illuminated right now. I almost want to say you're having this, like, supreme moment of enlightenment almost. Enlightenment in the shadows, which is so interesting because I feel like most of our enlightenment does come from some of our worst times, you know? You go through certain things and then when you come out on the other side, you're like, oh, okay, like that was why that happened. Like that was a lesson. And it really helps us let go, you know, once we learn that lesson, once we sort of achieve that enlightenment, you know, Buffalo, this is one of those cards similar to Eagle. When it comes out, I just know it's a big deal, you know, something like big is happening or something. So as I said, it's like you've reached this moment, maybe not reached, you're very much so heading towards it. Like within the next couple days, I want to say you're going to reach it. This pinnacle of enlightenment. You know how they say someone comes into your life for like a reason, a season, or a lifetime? It's almost like you're learning the reason, right? And you know, this is the funny thing. Sometimes a reason can be our lifetime, you know? You just need to make sure that you're not always going back to like the same toxic person. But anyway, with the bat card, yeah, you're just flying towards enlightenment, you know? You're flying towards the moon, coming out of the shadows. I feel like the past little bit has been very rough for you, very cloudy. And you're ready to come out of the dark. You're ready to finally present as, you know, this new version of yourself, this enlightened version. And with the Buffalo card, you know, this card talks about even through hard times, which is like very relevant for like what we're going through right now as a collective, even in rough times, uncertain times, you know, when the road ahead isn't clear, right? Look at all this lightning, all of that symbolism, the storm, right? Living in the eye of the storm. Even when you're in this chaos, even when the future isn't clear, nothing is really certain. You know, the buffalo, what it says in the book is it looks ahead with optimism and with bright eyes, you know? And it knows that any obstacle put in our way is for our own benefit, you know? Delays are for our benefit. Even though things might not seem good right now, we know that there's always like a higher good, you know? Something good is always gonna come out of a situation, you know? If you can see it that way and if you can sort of approach it that way, if you will. And with the lightning, it's really, now I'm getting like really clued into it. It's shocking, of course, lightning, but whatever moment you have had, it's like, it's not only shocking you, but it's shocking everyone else around you. It's kind of like, whoa, like people are saying to you, like, you're different, like you don't move the same, you don't act the same, you don't talk the same. Something about this enlightenment, like I'm really hearing it now, like heavily impacted you on a way that, you know, I do want to say you might have been in the shadows for like a very long time, you know? And what does it mean to live in the shadows? In my definition, it's more so, it can be a bunch of things, but in particular, living in a time of like sadness, grief, depression, loss, you know, just those times in our lives where it feels like we're living underwater, if you will, where just, you know, it's almost like living feels more like dying than dying does. That's, oof, oh, this got really deep. That's kind of how it feels. It feels like coming from a time of just absolute, you know, barren to, you know, potentially abundance. We don't know what's behind that moon, right? The moon is illuminated at night, right? Like at night though. And you know, the moon talks about secrets. Maybe, you know, the past couple weeks, a lot of secrets have been coming out. I always say this, like the truth always comes out in the end, no matter how hard you try to like hide it or cover it up, like the truth will always be the truth, right? And it's so funny that I just said that because we have black egg and owl. So if you're having this moment of enlightenment, you know, I do think this is more so the energy of the reading, you know, so it is surrounding your energy very heavily too. But you finally understand, like, I almost want to say the flow of life, you know, for the first time ever. It's like you're getting into your own groove. You're finally, you're understanding why a bunch of stuff happened in your life, if that makes sense. I can just see it now, like all of the, like it's circuit board, like all connecting. It's so interesting. It's like for the first time ever, everything's making sense in your life. You might have been someone who was like, I didn't deserve this when I was this. I didn't, like, this should not have happened then. That shouldn't have, like, why did that happen to me? And now you're sort of having this moment of like, oh, like those were all lessons. They were like preparing me for something bigger. They were preparing me for like my true life purpose. I also want to apologize. I keep looking down at my hand because I don't know if you can see my closet's back there. But for the first time in my life, I don't know why I did this. When I was closing the closet, I like slammed my thumb and it's so sore. I've iced it, but anyway, so off topic. Regardless, you're looking forward now, you know? Your head is almost like towards heaven, you know? Heart towards earth, head towards heaven or whatever. And the thing about the buffalo card is it's grounded, you know? Even in times of chaos, even in times of uncertainty, that energy stays grounded. It's solid. It's someone you can count on, right? And it is divinely protected, right? Like if you're wondering, like, am I protected in this time of like uncertainty? Like absolutely. This is one of the most like heavenly cards, I guess you could say, in the earth realm especially. Like this just talks about like divine protection on like some next level shit. So as I was saying, it's interesting because you're coming to this pinnacle of like enlightenment, right? Sort of breaking through another another tree in the Kabbalah tree, if you know the Kabbalah, breaking through, you know, higher level of consciousness, like great. And then you have this on the other side, black egg and owl. And it's interesting because I said the truth will always come out. And then the owl is a very clairvoyant card, you know, it talks about a gift on its way as well. So the gift of truth perhaps is on its way. That's kind of what it feels like. It feels like there's a message for you. The black egg does talk about the truth residing deep within us, you know. Very similar to the golden egg, but different in the sense of the black egg is about speaking our truth. And for me personally, I feel like the golden egg is more about feeling our truth. So this could be someone else. I think it might be someone else. If it's not a person, it's definitely a place or a thing. And it's funny because it's almost, you know, mirroring the glow around the egg is almost mirroring the glow around the moon. So I wonder if this person has a message for you that will really, really help your enlightenment, or if this is what's really going to cause you to just go for it, you know, and really break through your own barriers. Additionally, I am getting like, it's just all the imagery. The purple from the buffalo is sort of reflected in the black egg as well. So I feel like this is going to be one of those, you know those moments that happen that change our life forever. When I journal about it, I always just call it the pause, because that's really what it is. There's like this or at least for me, I can't speak for other people, but before moments like this happen, you know, someone comes into your life and your life is never the same, or you get a job offering, you know, you get a free trip, like you win the lottery, like something like that, you know. Those once in a moment, but like once in a lifetime moments that completely redirect the course of our life. It feels like that. It feels like you're gonna get some insight, you're gonna get some knowledge, you're gonna whatever this is, and you've been sensing it coming for a while, right? What was I talking about? Like the pause. And the pause for me isn't necessarily like a long period. For me, it's just literally minutes before something happens to me. I just kind of know. It's different for everyone, but that's what it feels like. Like something is about to happen, and it's good. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It causes you to level up, if you will, you know? It's like getting the key to the truth. And it's funny because the owl's delivering it. So just because this card has a lot of good fortune around it, that's why I'm saying I think this is a really good thing, you know? It could be a long-awaited truth from someone. It could be, that feels like it. Actually, after I said it, I was like, long-awaited truth from someone, and I just heard like, yep. So I think that someone's definitely coming forward to tell you something or deliver a message. And it's interesting because the egg is so quiet. Like, I got this a little while ago and I remember saying the same thing, but it was even like quieter. And this time it's like the egg is just whispering at me. Like it's drawing you in almost. So I wonder if on a very like subliminal space, you've been just thinking about this person a lot or dreaming about them. You know, you might be seeing synchronicities that align with them. I don't know if you guys have ever had this happen to you. I have, where there was this one guy that I was thinking about and I saw his name everywhere and he didn't have like a super common name, and I was just like, that is so weird. And then guaranteed, like I bumped into him like a little while after and I was like, I had a feeling like I was seeing your name everywhere. So it's like one of those things where it's like, if you really pay attention to your surroundings, you should be able to pick up like who it is, what it could be pertaining to. A lot of our answers are already with us, and if we just look at our surroundings, you know, micro to macro, look at what we're consuming, look at what's appearing in our consciousness field, right? Like, what are topics that keep coming up? What are things that keep being circulated, right? In particular to you, right? Because it's gonna be different for every person. Even though we are a collective, we're still individuals of a collective. And it's important to know both, right? So I think that on a very, very, you know, spiritual level, you and this person have been communicating almost. As I said, it's like the egg is whispering to me. It's like this person is drawing you out of the dark. But they're doing it in a very like woohoo, like psychic kind of way. It just feels like this person is like, they might be bombarding you with like thinking, you know, that's why you might be seeing their name everywhere, or like number, like for example, like a number that reminds you of them, or a song or something that keeps sort of appearing over and over again. That's what it feels like. And with the owl paired with it, you know, this person, place, or thing, it has a 360-degree view is what I'm hearing. The same way owls can turn their necks, you know, they can turn their heads around and stuff. This person has the very same ability with a lot of things is what I'm hearing. It's like they can sort of see, okay, this is a good way to put it. This kind of person can see the painting before the artist has even picked up the brush. Right? Or if that's too, you know, extreme for you guys, then it's like before the painting's complete, this person can see it, right? Like they're very, very clairvoyant. They're very, you know, like the kind of person that would like see their husband and like be like, that's the person I'm marrying. Like just knowing, right? Like that deep sense of knowing. And it's interesting because just with the lightning, you know, lightning is necessary for crops to grow. I don't know if a lot of people know that. When lightning strikes, the nitrogen that gets released helps plants grow. So that's why it's kind of, they say, you know, the calm after the storm. And that storms are actually there to clear the way and help. So I feel like whatever storm you've been in has actually been genuinely for your greater good. It might not feel like it at all right now, but you are sort of getting to this point where you're sort of going to be embodying the buffalo energy more and more and more, of just being able to look at the road ahead and just trust in every turn or like roadblock and be like, I'm always where I need to be. I am on the right path, you know? Everything will be okay, you know? Baby steps. baby steps, baby steps. As you sort of make your way through this difficult time and you're coming out of it. And what people forget, I don't know if people talk about it enough, personally, from my experience, coming out of a dark time is almost harder than being in the dark time. Because when you're just surrounded by like darkness and like your life sucks and everything's going wrong and stuff, it's very easy just to like get sucked into that and just stay there. But when you're genuinely trying to get out of it, you are pushing against your own boundaries, not boundaries, sorry, I digress. You're pushing against your own comfort zone, that's it. It's like you keep having to push yourself to break out of the comfort zone. For example, this could be so many things, like quitting smoking, for example. Like if you are a smoker or a drinker or anyone with an addiction, you know, an addiction can even be a person, right? Food addiction, anything. It's like, if you're just like, whatever, I'm just gonna stick with my addiction, you know, I'm not gonna try to change it, then of course, like it's easier to stay in the darkness. But when you really take it seriously and you're like, I want to change for me, coming out of that is really difficult because you still have that old conditioning, you still have that old mindset, you still have those attachments that you need to break down, right? And it's some of the hardest work we have to do as humans, you know, on like a spiritual level, like working through our own psyche, figuring out our own conditioning, figuring out like, what am I here to do? Why am I on this earth? Like that's some of the hardest questions for people to ask themselves and to really break through. And I do think, especially for you guys are just ready for this, you know, you're here to change. Change as a constant, you know, if you make change your constant, you'd be amazed at how far you could go because our world is always changing anyway. So if anything, you're just mirroring universal law. So without further ado, I think I'm just gonna stop there. Without further ado, I've been all in tongues lately. Like, I don't know what it is. It seems like all my sayings are coming out wrong. I just can't think straight. It might just be because of this whole pandemic, you know, causing like mass hysteria. But yeah, I'm gonna end the reading there. I hope you guys are all safe. Wash your hands, you know, stay indoors if you can. Self-isolating is so important to prevent the spread of the disease. And yeah, I just hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Wednesday reading. Bye guys.